Hi, this is Peggy Miller. I'm with Highland Winds LLC. I'm the medical herbalist that is presenting this podcast series, and this is Chronic and Specific number 9, which has to do with liver yin deficiency, dry eyes, tinnitus, muscle weakness, fatigue, are some of the common symptoms of liver yin deficiency. I spoke about last time kidney yin deficiency. Go back if you find yin deficiency. The last couple have been on yin deficiency, and it's a very big issue from a medical herbal standpoint. Yin's really important, and with each of these I try to emphasize one more importance of yin. Yin, and I'll get into liver yin deficiency in just a moment. Yin, the moisture in the body, can, if present in enough level, at enough of a level, can not only keep everything functioning well, it can help keep accidents from having the impact they normally would. I know that sounds strange, but if you increase your yin levels and keep them at a very good height, by eating the correct yin foods and taking yin herbs, you can it cushions the joints, the bones. It provides a level of cushion, almost like if you increase your amount of fat on purpose, because it has an insulating capability. Yin has a buffering capability. It can create a buffer between impacts. So if you sustain a blow, it may not have the impact because you have sufficient yin. So think of it as a layer in addition to keeping things just generally moist. But it also does keep things moist, and it keeps you from getting colds and coughs and just so many things. In the yin deficiency sector today, I want to talk about liver yin deficiency because it often gets overlooked because the symptoms of kidney yin deficiency, diabetes, enlarged prostate, and a whole, dry hair falling out, when the kidney essence is too low. The symptoms, the lower back pain of kidney yin deficiency, all of those are very pronounced, and so kidney yin deficiency gets a lot of attention. Liver yin deficiency, though, causes often very dry eyes, tinnitus itself, and the tinnitus, if it is a high-pitched sound, it's often liver yin deficiency, and tinnitus can be a very upsetting thing to have, and if you have it and it's chronic, and it's high-pitched, like a train whistle, a very high sustained pitch, that can keep you from getting sleep, and it can also be an indication of many other problems. Now, tinnitus also occurs with kidney yin deficiency. And here's the crux of it. Usually, if you have liver yin deficiency, you also have kidney yin deficiency. And you also have liver blood deficiency. Blood is sort of the underlying, and I've talked about blood deficiency already, and it is, if the blood doesn't have the proper nutrients, it doesn't help the system be moist. You can't create enough good yin, enough good moisture without the blood being healthy. And so blood nourishment is very important. And with liver yin deficiency, it always includes liver blood deficiency. This combination of patterns can lead to severe muscle weakness. Liver blood deficiency, if somebody says they're having a lot of muscle cramping, their muscles are tired, they're cramping, they're getting concerned about it, that's liver blood deficiency invariably. And you have to increase your blood nutrients. If they also say that they're starting to have, some dry eyes or tinnitus, if their back and neck are sore, their upper neck the area, in the back as you're leading to the shoulders and the neck itself, if all of that's sore, that can be another symptom of liver yin deficiency. The dry eyes occurs, or the tinnitus usually occur when you have a correlated symptom called liver yang rising. If the liver blood and liver yin are too low and there's a lot of dryness in the liver and it doesn't have the proper nourishment in order to do its job, it has, the simplest way to look at it is it has sort of an overload because it isn't sloughing off enough pollutants, etc., of something called yang. And liver yang, if it builds up too strongly because the yin is too low, it has to be dumped somewhere. Usually the liver dumps any excess level of pollutants or of yin or yang, any excesses, it usually dumps them through the evacuation system. It sometimes sweats off some, but it otherwise uses the bowels and the intestines to flush stuff out. But if liver yin deficiency is too strong and blood is not nourished well enough, then yang builds up and yang has to be dumped somewhere. So two of the symptoms that occur when somebody has liver yin deficiency and strong liver yin deficiency and liver blood deficiency is that they'll either get really cramping in their stomach. They'll say, geez, I have tinnitus, or I'll have muscle weakness. Geez, but I also do have some stomach problems. That can be a sign that the liver is dumping the excess yang into the stomach and eroding the stomach lining. So, but sometimes the person can have just stomach problems and not have. But if they have both symptoms, that's usually, in addition, a very strong symptom of the liver screaming for help. When the liver yang gets dumped, it either can dump into the stomach or it can go northward towards the eyes and the ears and create, headaches also occur, but dry eyes can be one major symptom and tinnitus can be the other. And so what do you do when you've got that combination? Well, you go get a consult from somebody. Yes, I do them, Highland Winds LLC. But you can find trained Chinese and Ayurvedic medical herbalists who can basically look into this group of symptoms, and what they'll invariably also look for is, do you also have kidney yin deficiency? Because it has to be treated as well. You want to treat it as well because it leads to its own problems. So basically you first decide what all's going on, and then once you do that, speaking of the liver yin deficiency, you treat both the blood. You start to nourish the blood and you start to nourish the liver yin. And there's a group of herbs that are good for this. You also look to sort of an unusual thing that correlates to what you're doing. As you increase the liver yin and you nourish the liver blood with specific herbs like Ramania, Dongi, schizandra helps, goji berries help, but in addition, you would probably be, if there's stomach symptoms as well, you would be including Ophiopogon or Glenia for the stomach. And then in addition, you would include oyster shell or draconis. And what does that do? It keeps the yang down. It keeps it from going northward to the eyes and ears. And so it's sort of, it's a very cold herb. It's oyster shell. It's not an herb, it's oyster shell. It's in the group of what we call herbs. that are used in the treatment of the symptom. And so marshmallow also helps. It helps with the dryness in the throat that can also become existent. Dry throat is another. The dry mouth can also occur. So you start to increase the yin, and with Romania and Dangi and peony, and you try to increase circulation. Ligusticum is often used. And then you also basically work at keeping the yang from rising to the eyes and ears if those symptoms are prevalent. So liver yin deficiency can really be a very, very important thing that needs to be treated. The muscle weakness alone can be a major symptom. Muscle weakness, muscle cramping. If those are there, then you're eventually going to have problems with the tendons. You also need to look to the spleen in order to make sure it's operating correctly, because it isn't always. The liver can be deficient as well when there's spleen. The spleen can be deficient as well. When the spleen key is deficient, then it doesn't help the liver, and it contributes to the muscle cramping and the muscle weakness, and also contributes to ligament and tendon damage over time. So this is a group, as you can see, yin deficiency is really important. And it can occur in the very young. It's often simply a result of overwork and stress. Basically, it has there is an age-old saying, burning the candle at both ends. But this causes liver yin deficiency and kidney yin deficiency. And so the dry eyes and dry throat, sometimes you'll have night sweats, sometimes you won't. The tinnitus, the muscle cramping. In females, there'll be scanty periods often. So the period is linked to this. Your nails might be withered and brittle. That can be another symptom. The lips can be much more pale, and the vision can be blurred. There can be the typical sign of yin deficiency, which is what's called an afternoon flush, a heat in your hands and your feet that is noticeable. That isn't always there, though. Some people say, well, I don't have that, so I must not have yin deficiency. Incorrect. That's not always a requirement. The dry eyes or tinnitus alone and the muscle weakness can be symptoms of this pattern. So the herbs like Romania 6 again, but then add in lychee berries or chrysanthemum for the eyes if there's dry eyes. That can be one of the formulas. You can also use a combination of Dangi 4 plus Romania 6, and that can be very useful. Sometimes, if the liver yang rising, so the tinnitus is very strong, there's tight neck and shoulders, there's irritability, then you will also want to take it to the level of possibly doing a liver cleanse where you use a bupleurum and peony formula, or you basically use major bupleurum. So you need to sit down with someone. These are serious symptoms. They are treatable. You can really help a person. So I hope this has been useful to some degree. Once again, this is Peggy Miller, Highland Winds LLC, and I thank MCAT and KFGM, which is 101.5 FM on the radio dial, both here in Missoula, for helping with this, and for YouTube for posting them, or letting me post them on my Highland Winds channel. Thanks. Have a great day.